hope you don't get scared easily. Reddit on Wiki starts right now. What's up, Wikimaniacs? It's your Punny Pinoy John hosting another Monday Reddit Readings episode. This feels normal once again. I've been hosting the last 3 MID assholes, and I'm starting to feel less brown, people. But as usual, I'm joined today by my boys, Josh and Sean. What's up, brothers?
Not too much. Was that ghost coming? It sounded.
Do I fist bump that one?
Yeah. I mean, fuck yeah.
Is that what you sound like?
Yeah. Do we not all sound like we're haunting somebody when we finish? Do I do it wrong?
I'm not going to say yes or no. You're on your own there.
I now have so many questions for Nancy.
Ooh. Yeah.
Not confirming or denying what I sound like. All right. But it is the middle of October when this episode comes out. And we did have some Wikimaniacs requesting that we read a little bit more scary stories for the upcoming Halloween. So I kind of obliged on that. And these stories are more so scary encounters as opposed to paranormal, but they are pretty creepy. But anything before we get started, boys?
Well, I just came back from Salem, so I'm on the spooky train.
Whoa.
Yeah, I gotta say, I did go before it was October, so less spooky. It felt really like summer on the coast. So,
did you do a tour? Some sort of like a ghost tour?
We did do a hauntings tour.
How was that?
What is it actually called? But it was great. Yeah, first night we were there, we did a tour. Our guide, Michael, shout out Michael. He was great.
Shout out Michael.
At the beginning, he was like, please don't record me unless you're a TikToker with over 1 million followers. And I was like, damn it.
The 750,000 count, Michael.
I was like, so close.
Sean, would you do a ghost tour, Sean? I don't know.
No.
No?
Really?
I'd support you guys. I'd be there with you.
Oh, you come with us?
No, to the town, and then I'll just,
You would skip the tour?
I'm not trying to see ghosts. What am I trying to see?
Man, I used to ghost hunt for fun. I miss those days.
Damn.
Yeah, I was the one person in Cultivate that is not down for spooky stuff.
Yeah.
I'll drive y'all to the place.
Fun fact, I did stay overnight at the Whaley House, supposedly one of the most haunted places in the U.S., and I didn't see shit.
Damn. Where Santa works, they do haunted tours.
I would love that. I love that shit. If I could stay overnight somewhere, isolated, I would do it.
We could probably do it, actually, if we wanted to.
Sean, you got to take one for the team, buddy.
I will produce the live stream from Josh's house.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all can video in.
All right. Well, ready to get started with the episode today, brothers.
Let's do it.
And I will say, I chose all different subreddit for these, so we're all going to have different ones throughout and try to divvy it up. So the first one comes from r/creepy encounters from Wolf _Dream. The title is My Hills Have Eyes Moment in Texas.
Six.
I've never actually watched The Hills Have Eyes.
I haven't either. And also, a lot of people are flaming us for not knowing what The Corpse Bride was.
I've never watched that either.
Thanks for the comments, people. That's been one of the most heavily commented videos we've had.
When did we mention The Corpse Bride?
It was one of the movie Am I the Asshole premises. Right before
we didn't mention The Corpse Bride because we didn't know what it was.
We didn't know what it was.
What was the question?
No, remember when we did like Am I the Asshole movie titles?
Oh, yeah.
One was Mulan, and apparently the second one was The
Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
And none of us knew.
That's Tim Burton, right?
Tim Burton.
Yes, Tim Burton.
Now I know it's Tim Burton.
Apparently we have a lot of fans of it, which kudos to you guys. I've never watched it. Animation creeps me out, so I just don't want to watch it.
If you're rich, watch party. Let's do it.
Oh, damn. Now I will do it for that. Okay, fair. I'll do it.
If you pay me, I'll watch Borderline anything.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure about that?
I said Borderline.
Okay. All right. Well, the story goes as this. In 2010, I was driving from New Orleans, Louisiana to Eugene, Oregon. It was just me, 24 female, and my 2-year-old pit bull in a 14-foot U-Haul truck with everything I own crammed into the back. A fancy flip phone, and my printout MapQuest directions.
Oh yeah.
I do not miss those.
I don't either.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I miss one turn on fuck, baby.
I used to get to soccer every time, and we always missed at least one turn every trip.
Rough. I think the first smartphones actually came out around that time, but I didn't have one. Cell phone service was also much spottier, and there were long stretches through the desert where I had zero service for hundreds of miles. That would be a nightmare for me nowadays.
Yeah, honestly.
I was driving a lonely stretch of highway through central Texas when I realized I hadn't seen a town or exit for a very long time, and my giant U-Haul was really low on gas. Just when I'm starting to freak out and seriously run out of gas, I see a small town coming up. I pull into this town, and it is tiny. I was so worried about other things that I never did pay attention to the name of the town. But there were only about 6 streets in the whole place. I go gas up and am ready to get back on the road. Except, I cannot for the life of me find my way back to the highway. I circle the town about 4 times and start getting so frustrated because this is such a tiny town. How the fuck can I not find my way out? I can literally see the highway but can't get into it. I returned to the gas station to ask for directions. Now, when I got gas, I paid at the pump and never went in. When I enter for directions, there's a skinny, nondescript guy who has black hair hanging down in front of his eyes that looks like it could use a good wash. Is that like a emo hair that he got going on?
Probably.
Sounds like it.
Pop punk era.
Yeah. He's not particularly creepy, but a little rude. He never really met my eyes, and he was looking down at a magazine. He gives me directions that don't sound right at all. He's telling me to take a road that will get me to the highway in about 17 miles. For a moment, I am dumbfounded. Then I point out that I didn't drive that far to get from the highway into town. Why so far to get back to the highway? I can literally see it from the town. He is so casual, almost like I'm just an annoyance and can follow his directions or not. Why should he care? He gives me some explanation about the road curving around that doesn't really make sense. And he still doesn't look at me. Just whatever. I gave you your directions and waved his hand in the direction of the door. When I got into the parking lot, my whole body started trembling violently and my heart started racing, seemingly for no reason. I get into the truck, and as soon as I put the key into the ignition, I burst into tears. I had the most terrible feeling that no matter how nonchalant he acted, this man has bad intentions. I didn't know what, but I knew right then and there that there was no way I was going to follow his directions.
I don't know if I'm just like oblivious, but I would just be like, oh, there's a teenager who just doesn't give a shit what's happening with me on my drive. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been my thought, but I don't know. I'm also not the most observant person sometimes.
People's gut feelings are crazy strong sometimes.
For sure. Yeah. I would die, I think, in this situation.
Same. Contractually, me and Sean will die first, though.
I'm always going to be the last
That's just the rule.
That's the rules.
Yet, this was the only store in this little town, and short of knocking on doors, and they put no thank you, there was no one else to ask for directions. And I decided I didn't give a shit if this town seemed like something dropped out of the Twilight Zone. I was going to drive around until I found my own way out, even if it took all damn night. Then a big red beater of a pickup truck, as much rust as metal, pulls up and disgorged the quintessential Texan man. Huge, husky, and in flannel and work boots. Josh, are you Texan? Without even thinking about it, I jumped out of the truck and approached him quietly, yet warily. Looking into his eyes, I saw a kind human being, or at least I was hoping I did. I asked him if he could please give me directions to the highway, and I told him I knew it was silly, but I just couldn't seem to find my way back. He looks concerned, as I was visibly upset, so he made me laugh and very cheerfully gave me directions for a hairpin curve turnoff right at the end of a small concrete tunnel I had passed several times. He said it often confused travelers because it was so hard to see, they need to put up signs, etc. With a sinking feeling in my stomach, I asked him how far in miles was it back to the highway. He laughed and gave me a funny look. Miles, miss? I'd say it's a quarter mile at most. You can see the highway right from here. And at this point, I couldn't help it. I had to know. What happens if I drive? And I gave him the directions the man in the store had given me. Texas looked at me very intently and asked me how I knew about that route. It was pretty far out and usually only locals know about it. So I told him. He was quiet for a few minutes and then just asked me what the attendant looked like and if I had a map map of the state. Nope, just my MapQuest, which wasn't helpful in this situation. He goes to his truck and grabs a raggedy local map from his glove box. Spreading it out for me, he traces the route I described. The way the man from the gas station had told me to go led away from town, away from the interstate, and led to seemingly the middle of nowhere. Texas told me that the road did go about 17 miles right before it dead ended in the desert.
Oh, fuck.
And I asked him what was out there. And he told me that it was nothing but some junk cars and a few trailers and mobile homes, all owned by the same family.
Ooh.
This family was known locally as troublemakers, meth heads, and alcoholics. And these were the nice things townspeople had to say about them. The clerk was part of this family and lived down that road. And I'll never forget the look in Texas' eyes as he told me this. He also told me that I was smart to listen to my instincts, and he told me to be careful traveling out there. I don't know if the man from the gas station wanted what was in the back of my U-Haul or what was in the driver's seat, but thankfully I didn't have to find out. Oh, and I learned that sometimes angels look like ruddy-haired Texans with scruffy faces and rusty pickups. Thank you, random Texan stranger. You really saved my ass, and I will remember you with tons of love. Sorry I didn't ask your name. You're forever Texas to me now.
Kudos to that one Texan, man. Right?
Yeah.
Right, Sean?
We're all not that bad here.
I mean, the guy who tried to lure her into it
was also a Texan.
Was also
God
a Texan.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, yeah, give it up for Texas, and then I was like, well, they're just gonna say the other guy is also Texan, which I would have no comeback.
It's 50-50, you know. But yeah, I mean, creepy, scary as hell. I'm glad she listened to her gut. Like I said, I would not be wise enough to avoid that. So
I feel like sometimes people have like insane, like I forget what story I was hearing. Probably John, you heard it too. I think it was on the Here to Help podcast with the Nick Miller host, where he mentions like his mom was just like, "Hey, you're not going to school today." And then
yes.
And then he was like, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "I don't know. All I know is you cannot go to school today." And then there was something like either a kidnapping or a school shooting or a fire.
It was a shooting.
Yeah, happened that day. And he was like, that was fucking insane.
Jesus.
Something. Yeah. So it's just, sometimes it just happens. It hits people. I pray to God whenever I'm about to do something dangerous that I get some sort of feeling, but also
not me. I'm oblivious as hell.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But also I feel like I'm pretty oblivious to things. So.
Yeah, same. So well, we'll all be in the same boat.
Yeah, well, at least we'll be together, right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next story. And this subreddit was actually requested heavily by a lot of Wikimaniacs. And this one is posted on r/let's not meet from, well, this is weird 20. I only have 4 stories today, and this one is quite lengthy. And Josh, I feel like you're going to like this because it's a topic that you used to cover.
Cults.
Yes. So the title of this story is...
There was only one topic I used to cover.
DD.
That's true.
You had that.
One that John knows very well, I guess. Is that
that's fair. Co-host to that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually did one on a Tuesday episode, John.
Yeah, we did.
Moving on.
The title of this story is I Live Below a Cult Leader and Fear I've Angered Her.
You got to move.
Bring back the podcast and get this person on.
Yes. There is going to be a spoiler here. On the comment section of this story, there is video evidence and also audios. So Wikimaniacs, if you click the link of the audio, you'll see on the top comment. You'll be able to view it on YouTube. It's still uploaded.
I want to see that now.
Yeah, wait, what the fuck?
You can hear like everything that's going on, but you'll understand more as the story progresses. All right. I, female 28, have lived in the same apartment for 4 years. My neighbors in the unit above me are a couple in their 30s who have lived there for about 3 years with no issues between us. During the past 6 months, I've noticed some changes in their behaviors. At first, it was just a few days per week. I'd hear music with the heavy bass accompanied by rhythmic jumping, and I assumed they bought an exercise bike or something. But sometimes the jumping gets so intense that it shakes my overhead light fixtures. Or they're listening to that Seabass song.
Let's
The, ju-
go.
the jumping routine has been escalating to the point that it takes place every day, normally between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I also noticed that they called 1-800-DRUNK and got rid of a lot of nice possessions. However, I figured none of this was my business, so I kept my observations to myself. You're better than me. I'd be nosy. I'm like, what's going on? About 3 weeks ago, everything escalated. Multiple times per week, it sounds like they're hosting a mini Burning Man event in their apartment. The music is so loud and clear that it sounds as if I'm at a concert while sitting in my living room.
Damn.
There's clearly a lot of people involved because the jumping/stomping shakes multiple light fixtures and cabinets.
Bro, the way I would be a Karen and fucking be talking to apartment management or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
Reporting that shit.
Agreed. The music is a mix of new age/spiritual vibes, dance beats, and a male voiceover giving weird instructions like rebrand yourself, surrender yourself, stomp, stomp.
Oh,
In
no.
response, Josh is getting the itch.
It's flashbacks.
I've taken audio recordings on my phone and one video from the hallway during these events. I still didn't complain to the building, but I wanted evidence in case it became a regular thing. Again, check on the comments, people. This week, I've encountered a big problem. The couple above me has a private patio, which is directly above my bedroom. I came home from a 3-day trip out of town yesterday, and my ceiling is legitimately collapsing in one corner.
Oh my God.
Big chunks of plaster had fallen to the ground, and I saw a little water. I immediately called my superintendent since I don't want to be buried alive by ceiling rubble if it gives out. When he came to check it out, he was shocked and pissed. He said that the woman in the couple appears to be working with some people doing workshops or something, and he can see their patio from his apartment window and has watched the group do these dancing, plus jumping, plus dirt rituals out there on a weekly basis. I don't know what a dirt ritual is, but that sounds intense.
It does.
He said they all dance and jump to the music and then spread dirt. There you go. That they explained.
Oh, there we go.
And they put along with something else. He doesn't know what it is. Across a patio on a weekly basis. He believes that the dirt plus unknown substance combo is getting through the wooden cracks, absorbing water, and weighing down my ceiling. In order to fix a problem, my super said he had to go talk to the woman, check out their patio, and ultimately hire a contractor to pull up the wood to scrape out whatever the hell is causing my ceiling to fall. I could hear them talking from my room, and the woman sounded distraught and defensive. When my super left, he called me and warned me that she might try to come down to my apartment and demand to see the damage. But don't let her in. This was a little concerning to me. Is she a threat? The damage is real. I wouldn't mind showing her. And she started playing her music again, relatively loud, kind of like a warning shot.
Oh my
boy.
God.
I mentioned the music/jumping to the super and said I had audio recordings. Check the YouTube video, people.
I might play a portion of it in this at the end.
Yeah, I'll send you the link afterwards.
I want it to play now.
So do I. I'm very, although maybe not.
Okay, let me just send this real quick.
Do the whole story.
Yeah,
and
do
then
the whole story.
Let's do a
watch
clip it at the end.
I got you. I mentioned the music/jumping to the super and I said had audio recordings. He started begging me to send the evidence to the front office. It sounds like he wants them evicted. I said, okay, sure. I hate to be a rat, but if I had to choose sides, I'll side with the building that dictates my annual rent price.
Maybe not the one that could murder you, though.
Yeah. He called me twice more than the afternoon to confirm that I shared my evidence, and I said yes. Shortly after everything went down, I left my apartment to run an errand.
Oh, God.
The woman was outside, just standing on a sidewalk,
I was
and
gonna say,
stared at me the whole time as I walked by.
she knows where you live.
I ignored her. This isn't my fault. Now, today, I went to run another quick errand in the neighborhood. When I returned, the couple was again standing on the sidewalk. And they put
No.
both of them this time.
Oh, God.
Followed me into the building and then waited until I was opening my apartment door to confront me. They were both wearing creepy fake smiles, and they put, the woman has horse girl hair down to her waist, and started interrogating me. They asked, is your ceiling really collapsing? When did it start? Do you think it was related to the recent rainfall? Because our patio is just fine. I was a little uncomfortable. Were they waiting for me outside? How did they know I even left the building? Why were they both standing there? And I've literally never seen them enter together in their 3 years of living here. But I have nothing to hide, so I confirm the damage is pretty bad. I just don't want it to fall during the winter. And I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but hopefully the work will be done quickly for everyone's sake. They seemed satisfied enough, so I said have a good day and shut my door. I'm getting the sense that they're nervous about what the contractors will find when they tear open the patio. What the fuck is up with the dirt rituals? Who are these people she's working with? I don't know what they look like or why they're available to stomp around on weekdays. The repair work has started on both sides, but the contractors will come on Wednesday for the grand reveal on what's under the patio that's making my ceiling collapse. In the meantime, I feel like I need to be alert and keep my eyes out for these people as well as the couple. It's unusual for me to see them in general, especially twice in 2 days. They seem scared and in denial of the problem. They also literally ambushed me. Hopefully, it's over soon.
Man, the way I'd be moving. These people sound creepy as fuck. I don't know if I'd be able to sleep.
Yeah, I wouldn't get out of my, if they were waiting for me, I would not get out of my car. I'd be like, well, I'm driving around.
Yeah, I'm going to my friend's house for the night or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd be scared shitless, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's creepy as fuck.
There is an update for this story.
I was hoping there would be.
I can find the link for us to show as well. The update. The contractors came today and reported that there was, in fact, dirt and sludge visible below the neighbor's patio. However, thanks to the help of my internet sleuthing friend, I've gained a lot more insight into the realm that dwells above me. As one Redditor suggested, my neighbor is affiliated with multiple ecstatic dance communities, both international and local.
Those dancers.
Hey.
It's called the Galing cult. Is that what it's called? I think.
What do you mean?
The
Hiding my tattoo.
The international group has planned events during which all cells of the organization host dance sessions simultaneously. It also has a YouTube channel that streams, is it Psytrance? PSY Trans? Is that TRANCE? Is that what it's called? Title?
I don't know. That sounds right.
Hopefully I'm reading that right. That streams Psytrance music 24/7. I listened to a portion of it and a female voiceover declared, "You are becoming the game master."
So it's probably like psychic trance. That's probably what it's short for, or something
Maybe.
like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Meanwhile, the local group seems to be more exclusive and more radical in their mindset. One of the local groups conducts 3-day events that cost upwards of $400 for admission.
Ooh.
That's going to be our next live show, people. $400 a ticket. Participation in all 3 days is mandatory, and the event description mentions that it begins with a ritual. The last and darkest affiliation that I've confirmed via social media footprints is that my neighbor and a few members of the local communities are also involved with some compassionate death groups. I don't know what that is.
Oh,
there's
not good.
I have no idea what that is, but it sounds creepy.
Wait, I thought compassionate death was just people that like assisted suicide type things.
Oh, could be.
I don't know. So that to me sounds scary as hell.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to verify at this time these affiliations overlap in a meaningful way, so I will simply state the facts that I have evidence to prove. My super asked me about the jumping again when I saw him today, and he agreed with my new game plan to wait for another large event to happen, and then call him to check on my dishwasher so he can intervene. So for now, the ways in which the puzzle pieces of ecstatic dance, compassionate death, patio, dirt rituals, and ceiling collapse connect will remain a mystery.
Bro, your super might want you to die. He's asking a lot.
Yeah, compassionate death does seem like it's the medical, like assisted suicide.
Okay.
Yeah, I that's just a quick Google search. I'm sure there's more information, but yeah, I don't know. So that part it's not
Too
as
scary.
bad. I don't. Yeah.
Okay, because I generally had no idea what that was. So
It just sounded scary mixed with the rest of it, but I don't know. Maybe that part's not as bad.
I sent the link on the YouTube video that they shared. If anyone you guys want to share, it has a better.
Sure. Oh my god. Okay. It started playing before I could share my screen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that ceiling is messed up.
That's the ceiling. All right. So audio listeners, the ceiling looks like it has a lot of water damage. I'll say
It
that
looks
much.
like it's ready to collapse.
Yeah,
does,
it's just
yeah.
like the paint is coming undone.
Yeah,
There's like cracks and everything. All right. Let's play the audio a little bit.
I mean, I can't hear it from my end, but
Yeah, I don't hear
Okay.
shit.
Well, yeah. Well, again, we'll post it in the description, but
yeah, we'll post it.
god damn, it just sounds like thumping, basically.
It is.
which
It's loud. When I watched the video, it was super
It's very
loud.
loud. I don't know how I'd be able to, like, I wouldn't be able to put up with that for that long.
No, I think after the first instance, I would have Karened out and been like, this is not acceptable.
Like once in a while, if my neighbors have a party or something like that, whatever. But this is
Every day,
every day. That's crazy.
8 to 10 a.m. too. Like, bitch,
Yeah.
I haven't even like fully awake yet.
No, right above you too, which is
Ah.
nowhere for you to go.
All right, moving on to the next story, and this one is posted on r/unresolved mysteries from
Ooh.
sunrises/sunsets. I really went on my bag and just found a bunch of different subreddit for you, Wikimaniacs, because you requested this. And the title of this story is, well, it's more of a question, but the question is, have you ever met a killer?
Ooh. I'm trying to think if I have. I guess how would you know?
How would you?
Yeah, how would you know?
I can't confidently say that now that I think about it, but I don't think I have.
All right. The story goes as this. Have you ever met a killer or think you've met one? I made a throwaway account to post this because it still creeps me out 12 years later, and I don't want it linked to my account that could identify me. Sorry if this blows up. About 12 years ago, I was in my early 20s and living in a southern state in the US. Late one night, I realized I urgently needed to buy something, so I went to the only store near me I knew was open. A Walmart supercenter that was open 24/7. I gotta say, teenage years, I used to do that shit all the time
Yeah.
too.
Same.
This store is right off a major US interstate exit, and they put I-85, and it was a weekday around 1 a.m. in the morning when I was out at the store. The parking lot of this store is huge, and often truckers would park their trucks in the lot overnight along with some random campers and RVs. I was in the line to check out and immediately noticed the man in front of me. The store was otherwise almost empty. He was youngish white guy, average build, maybe 30s.
Killer.
This is Josh.
Shit.
He was hunched over with a baseball cap bunched down over much of his face. He purchased these items: a shovel, 3 packs of duct tape, rope, a set of zip ties, a box of latex gloves, a pair of leather gloves, and an empty gas container, and a disposable cell phone.
Just doing some yard work in the middle of the night.
This is fucking It's Always Sunny. I'm sorry that I have to do it.
Oh
but-
yeah. Or what was the SNL skit where Pete Davidson's trying to sell like rope to the guy, or
I don't know that
movie
one.
maybe, and he's just like, yeah, I need to buy some rope, and he's just like, what are you towing? And he's just like, a boat. He just makes it up because he's trying to tie up a body basically.
It's Always
Good
Sunny
thing.
is pretty similar, where like they go to one of Dennis's car, and then he has like pretty much everything John just listed. They're like, what? Why do you have all these? And he's like, tools. I gotta have my tools. He's just going crazy, and everybody's like, holy shit.
He seemed to be unwilling to engage with a checkout person, and they put who also seemed annoyed to be working at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday. Fair enough, which is
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
And this person paid in cash.
Mm.
Now, even if he wasn't buying those items, I think I would have felt creeped out. There was something just off about the situation to me. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just sensed something wrong.
No,
But to
it would
buy
be
those,
crazy if you didn't sense something.
yes,
This is coming
I'm
from the guy
oblivious
who
as
would.
hell. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, yo, that's crazy.
If I saw all of those items at 1 a.m. in a Walmart, I'd be like, that guy killed someone.
Can't wait to hear about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wally World? Shit. But to buy those specific items together and they put and nothing else, and to buy them at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday and to pay cash. And I waited in the store for a long time and I asked the assistant night manager to walk me to my car. Good call on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next day, I called the local FBI field office and explained/reported the situation. The people taking the complaint asked me repeatedly if I was calling in response to a specific crime, but took my information. I didn't hear of anything or see anything on the news that caused alarm. Then, a few months later, the FBI local office reached out back to me and asked if I paid with a credit card at Walmart. I never heard from them again, and I have no idea who the man was, what he was doing, who he may have harmed, or where he did it. I don't know if he's been captured or not, but I'm pretty darn sure I witnessed someone buying things to murder someone else. Has anyone else ever have a run-in with someone they suspected of killing someone else?
God damn. I don't
crazy.
think so.
I hope not.
I've lived a pretty boring life, but I don't know. I'm also not very aware of what other people are buying. That situation, I think I would be because it's 1 a.m. You're literally the only two people buying something in the store.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would.
I feel like I would notice and then immediately look away and be like,
Dude, if I made eye contact, I would have shit myself.
I think I'm calling the police at that moment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's crazy. Also, it was funny when they're like, they bought just those items and nothing else. But I'm like, wouldn't it be crazier if they had like a can of beans there too? Like, you know what I mean? Like something regular.
That will lower the suspicion for sure.
all of that stuff and then a thing of parsley.
What, I was
Wait a
camping.
Now I'm thrown off.
It's like, Clark Kent, if he wears glasses, no one recognizes. It's a perfect disguise, people.
Have you seen the new Superman and his Clark Kent?
I have not.
Like side by
It's
side.
not out yet, right?
No, but there's like,
I've seen the
fucking-
screenshots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a good job of making him look completely different as
They
Clark
did.
Kent.
Really?
I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
I think it'd be hard to tell someone if they wore glasses. Yeah.
I mean, but like, Superman has his hair like slicked back. This guy
Yeah.
had like a
Forward.
Swirl?
yeah, like a perm.
Oh, yeah,
Sort of
perm.
forward. It was like curly and in the front. Like you couldn't even see his forehead.
Wild.
So
Okay.
I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't notice somebody if they had glasses, completely different haircut.
All right, moving on to the last story before we move to the Amazing Underbakke section. We're going to take a little break from the scary on that one. The last story is posted on r/true scary stories by
Ooh.
Practical Lower Score Sync 1484. The title is Came Across an Incredibly Creepy Family a While Back.
Okay.
Before we move on, I just have Dennis's fucking line. Josh, do you know what I'm talking about at all?
No, I haven't watched
No,
Ball.
it's
It's Always Sunny.
crazy.
Say
Tools,
it.
I gotta have my tools. I like to bind. I like to be bound. It's insane. It's honestly one of the greatest. He's a Juilliard actor. He's so good.
Is that Rob Mac?
No, the other guy.
No.
The guy that was in
Uh,
that Blackberry movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Dennis,
good.
okay.
He's so good.
Yeah. What's his actual
All
name?
right.
Glenn Howard.
Glenn.
Oh,
That's-
okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, the story goes as this. Okay, I never really post anything on Reddit, mostly just reading, so please excuse me if I do or say anything that isn't common courtesy here. We always fuck up all the time.
Yeah.
In around 2018/2019, I was living in Nebraska, where I grew up. I lived in the largest city in Nebraska, but I was still essentially surrounded by corn and wheat fields. The city was expanding, so rich folks started building huge houses with giant properties on the edge of town as things proceeded to grow.
A lot of these are American stories. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah. America do
Only
be creepy
spooky
sometimes.
things happen here.
In the Midwest.
In the Midwest.
I will say when we got to Ottawa, I was like, there's a lot of corn in Ottawa.
That drive at night was scary, low key.
It's a farm area outside of Ottawa for sure.
I mean, I lived in the Midwest for a little bit, and yes, cornfields was a lot back then. I used to drive. Sometimes I'd come off a night shift, and it'd be 2 a.m, and I'm just like, man, why is it fucking cornfields? I always feel like something is staring at me the whole time.
Children of the corn.
Yeah,
they really fucked us all up.
Probably. All of that being said, I had a good friend whose parents' house was one of those big ones right on the blurring line between the fields and the city. My friends and I were constantly hanging out at his place because it was fun. They had tons of property to ride 4x4s on, a hot tub, a huge living room for us to watch sports and have reality TV, binge sessions, etc. I would love to come over. Plus, his parents were super cool and we could drink out there as long as we stayed at the house. Also responsible.
Okay.
It was tons of fun, even though I was/am quite scared of the dark. So I would just not go outside after a certain time because there was a little lighting and the nearest neighbor was about a mile away. I always felt a weird energy driving to/from his place if it was late at night, but never had anything happen until one night. Dun dun dun. The drive out there was a long, winding two-way road that had thick trees on both sides, and you passed one of the city's largest cemeteries on the way. Would you freak out, Sean? Or you wouldn't even show up?
I think I'm fine with cemeteries. I will say this. My first birthday party before Nancy and I were like dating officially or whatever, she had never driven to like my suburb outside of Houston before. And she like took a wrong turn because it was foggy. And she was like, how am I deep into a cemetery right now? She called me. She said, what the fuck is going on?
That's funny.
Barely any lighting, of course, besides the street lamps every once in a while and very little traffic. It's all inherently a bit creepy, and I'll admit to having sped through this section of road many times to get through it as quickly as possible. This specific night was perfect spring weather, so I was driving with my windows down listening to music, and it was around 10 p.m. I was coming around one of the curves in the road when I had to essentially slam my brakes on. Right in front of me, in the middle of the road, maybe 50 yards away, was what looked like a family. Again, picture a completely pitch black road with thick forests on both sides and only my headlights to show what was in front of me. This was a family of 3, and they put maybe 4. A tall, slim woman, an average height/weight man, a child. They put short hair but couldn't tell the gender based on the clothing and couldn't see their face, maybe around 8 years old. And the mother was pushing a fucking stroller. Their clothes looked normal, not tattered, but not nice. They also were not carrying any kind of light source, meaning before I arrived before them in my car, they had been walking in the pitch black.
Oh, they're walking. I thought this was in the car or something,
No,
like beside
they
a
were
car.
walking, bro.
Okay.
They were all facing away from me, walking completely silent in the middle of the street, the same direction I was heading. I had turned my music down to hear if they were speaking, had music playing, etc. They didn't. The hairs on my arms immediately stood up. I came to a stop in the road behind them, obviously, and just sat there for a moment to let them move. They seemed to be completely unaffected by me and didn't even turn their heads slightly, nor did they attempt to move out my way. I literally thought I was going insane or that I was dreaming. It was so surreal. Before I really had time to fully process and register what I was seeing and how truly strange it was, they all, at the same time, stopped walking and very slowly turned to face my car.
Oh no.
I'm running them over. I don't give a shit.
The beginning of this, I was like, oh, a family out for a walk. You know what I mean? Like, this happens. That's fucking creepy as shit.
This scared the absolute shit out of me. And I honestly didn't even give myself enough time to look at their faces as they turned. I immediately threw my car in reverse and sent it backwards to probably a full 20 seconds before flipping a U-turn, nearly running myself off the road and booking in the other direction. The only thing I remember noticing is that the stroller looked to be completely empty.
Oh,
This was the part that sticks in my mind the most. and I've never felt terror like that in my life. I checked my rearview mirror probably 1,000 times before getting to a main road and never saw a glimpse of them. In fact, I never saw a glimpse of them ever again. I tried asking my friend and his family about it, only to essentially feel like I was insane because of the way they looked at me. Every time I tell the story, I get one of 3 reactions. They immediately think I'm fucking cuckoo, think I'm lying, or have had something sort of similar happen to them. I really don't care if no one believes me, honestly. It was and still is the creepiest thing to ever happen to me. I think about all the time, and it was either some weird ass family trying to scare the shit out of someone, a distraction for an attempted robbery/assault, or it was something more sinister. I'm going to tell myself to probably the rest of my life that it was the first option.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one to tell yourself. I hope it was a ghost family.
I did too.
Actually, no, I don't, because then that means they died. I don't actually hope that. But yeah, that's creepy for sure.
Sean's like, nope. I'm not driving the rest of the night.
Bro.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere, so this sounded just like where I grew up. So,
But
I
do
mean,
families walk late at night?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, especially like daylight savings time, gets dark early.
Well, that's
people
fair.
go for walks.
On an empty road, though, like an empty dirt road?
Yeah, all the time, dude.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I've just been a city boy my whole
Yeah, we're
life.
city boys, brother.
Yeah. We do that at my parents-in-law. They have they live on a dirt road and we go walking on it.
No light source?
I mean, we try not to walk too late, but if it's after dark, they have like highlighter vests or whatever that you can walk with if you want to. But I mean, it's a pretty straight road too, so people can see you from a long way out. But yeah, it's pretty common, I would say.
Okay.
Bro, the slow turn would have fucked me up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Slow
That's creepy
turn
to me.
all at the same time?
That's
Yeah.
great.
After not acknowledging you for
Yes.
a while.
I would have cried.
I would have shit myself. Are you kidding me?
Sean wouldn't be able to throw it in reverse. He's like, I'm dead.
It's over.
Plot twist. It's the guy that went to Walmart because you ran them over because he's going to try to bury them because you ran the rest over.
So we didn't hear what state that one was in. I don't know. So
no, but
could have been Nebraska.
See. Maybe we just solved the fucking, we just solved the murder. That would be crazy, right?
That would be. I mean,
random ass story.
FBI is like, how did you know this? Are you connected? Like, no.
Oh my gosh, you got a text.
Idiots.
All right. Well, we're moving on to the next segment, taking a break from the creepy encounters, scary stories, and
thank God.
The Amazing Underbakke curated us a fan favorite. And the question is this poster okay?
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Let's do it.
We've had some controversial ones recently.
Ooh, Alex did provide us an extra credit this time. She gave us 3.
Whoa.
And they all come from r/unpopular opinion.
Okay.
All right. Post number 1. This one's posted by OK_independent 9119. Canadians aren't as nice as the internet acts like they are. At least the ones that come to the US. Their reputation here is that of rude, leave stores and tables trashed, and annoying. When I go to Toronto or Montreal, they're nicer, but nothing like their internet reputation. Is this poster okay?
I mean, crazy to say that. Like Toronto, Montreal, nice people. Yeah. No, this is
fire.
No. It's because
they're city people.
No. This is a super niche topic about the NHL preseason game where the Leafs and Habs fans are just like basically wishing death upon each other. It's a very hot topic right now. They took out one of the Habs top players, and it's a very hotly debated topic, which is why I'm wearing my Leafs hat. But when this comes out, that'll be old news, so no one gives a shit. But I agree with that statement. I say Canadians, I don't know how we got the portrayal of being nice, especially like, I don't know, some of the shit I see online is just the most heinous stuff you've ever seen. Racist, like just terrible people online. I will agree. It depends where you go in Canada, but I think you could say that about anywhere. There are tons of nice people in America. There are tons of terrible people in America. It just depends where you go. So yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know how we got blanketed as the nice country. I don't know. It's just maybe in comparison to Americans, but even then, I don't know if we're that much different.
Yeah, I will say, like, when I was in Toronto and Ottawa and our brief stint in Quebec, everyone was like kind of just
nice.
Yeah, generally nice. Especially the wedding, everyone was extremely nice, but that's because it's Josh's
different.
loved ones. But like, you know, just like the service people, like everyone was good. I don't, as nice as everyone was, I don't think it matches the stereotype is just so over the top, like spit in my fucking face. I don't care. Type of nice. Yeah. And I will say maybe it's just because I'm from like Texas or like the South, like Southern hospitality is kind of like the service people are generally good.
For sure. Yeah.
Here as well. I would say like when I go to New York, it doesn't feel like Southern hospitality. It does not feel like how it was in Canada. So I guess like
a bagel there is a threat. Like, hurry the fuck up.
Toasted? You want us to toast this goddamn bagel? Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's the only way we have it in Texas.
Same up here.
Yeah, so I could get it if like maybe it was made that way from like LA people and New York people because they're kind of like in charge of American media. That is the stereotype, just because people in LA and New York are not that they're generally mean, but they're not, you know, focused on courtcy, I guess.
I don't like going to LA.
That's such a nice way to put it.
Yeah, they got places to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen the traffic. I could imagine that would make me also be a dick. So,
but I had like the opposite experience on this one. The flip side of it, I know when I went to France at some point, people were always saying like, "Oh, French people are so rude and disrespectful, like to Americans, yada yada." When I went there, everyone was so damn nice to me. Like I spoke English. I'm just like, I went to this person like, "Hey, I'm sorry, like I don't really speak French, but can I order this certain thing?" Or I mispronounced a bunch of shit wrong. They're like, they didn't give a fuck. Like as long as you reach out with that same respect and courtesy, I think people tend to kind of give that back to you.
I think that's the difference though. You're going like, hey, my bad. I know I'm in your country. I don't know the language. I apologize. Like you're going into it already knowing you're kind of in like not in the wrong, but just like you're being an inconvenience to them and you're apologizing for it. So that's why I think they're probably nice to you. Like they're like, yeah, we understand. That's what I think it is. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's everywhere. Everywhere's got nice people. Everywhere's got shitty people.
The world sucks sometimes. All right. But all right, next post.
I was just going to say, whenever we went to Quebec, we weren't expecting like, of course, Quebec is like French speaking, but we were like the border, like a 5-minute walk from Quebec to Ottawa. So we weren't thinking it was going to be like hella French immediately.
Yeah, it flips. Yes.
Yeah. So we got to the restaurant and the guy was like, bonsoir. We're like, oh shit. And then he was speaking French to us. And then I was kind of just looking at him. And then I was like, I'm so sorry. And he said, oh, like you speak English? And I was like, yeah, we speak English. But then Nancy and me were like, or he was like, do you want me to speak English or do you want to like practice French? And then me and Nancy looked at each other and she was like, whatever you're comfortable with. And then I was like, all right, Nancy got this then. And then he goes on like a 5-minute, like walking us through the menu, like telling us everything. I'm looking at Nancy. She's looking intently like, yeah, I got it. And I was like, okay, I pray to God because I'm not getting anything. And then like he finished and then he like I got like by the tone of his voice, he was like, okay, so like, are you ready to order type of thing? Yeah. And like during that whole time, he was like underlining things and like, crossing things. And I was like, okay, yeah. So we'll have everything that you like underlined. Cause that's like, that all sounds great. He said, oh, so English then. Cause that's everything That's everything we don't have at the moment. We are all out of that stuff. And I was like, okay, sick. I've never felt more like a dumb American than at this very moment.
That's so funny.
God damn it, Sean.
I was like, oh yeah. Even Nancy was
smiling.
like, whenever I said that, Nancy was like, no. Like she sort of like she understood
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah, I fucked it up.
Damn.
Yeah, let me get those things you underlined. Those sound really good.
Stupid Americans.
English it is then.
All right, post number 2, posted by LKR2. They say the cream in Oreos is disgusting. I've had Oreos here and there, and the cream just sucks. It tastes like I'm eating spoonfuls of sugar, which is basically what they are. The actual cookie is much better, but it's also very sugary. After 1 or 2 cookies, I'm feeling sick from the amount of sugar they have. I just make my own homemade cookies with half the sugar in the recipe, and they taste way better. Is this poster okay?
Newsflash: things taste better when you cook them. I don't know what the fucking newsflash. Oreos are sweet. What do you? Yeah, I was eating like steak,
sugar.
and I
That's
was like,
what it is.
man, this
It tastes
steak
meaty.
is real meaty. What the fuck are you thinking? What are you expecting? Is this poster okay? Yeah, I just think they're really
pretentious.
Dumb. Really dumb.
Yeah, because like as soon as they're like, yeah, it tastes like sugar. Yeah, well, no fucking duh. That's what it is. It's just
straight up sugar.
I don't understand what you were looking for. I don't go and buy store-bought cookies to be like, oh, these will be just as good as the cookies Sienna makes. You know what I mean? Like
the way we fucked up that dessert table, Josh.
Yeah, they were good.
Another bit from the wedding.
Holy shit.
We were like, man, that dessert table looks so good. And then John was like, I can't wait to try the macarons. And then I was like, yeah, I heard Sienna's mom baked the cookies. I want to try Sienna's mom's cookies. And then everybody's like, whoa, whoa, buddy.
He was licking his lips and everything.
I was like, damn.
Sienna's mom's cookies sound good, right?
I can't wait to get a taste of Sienna's mom's cookies. And everybody's like, yo.
That's my mother-in-law.
Excuse you. And I was like, I clearly don't mean it that way. But all night they were like, oh, you can't wait to have Sienna's mom's cookies candy.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we were just fucking messing with Sean the whole time, and we were just judging the fuck out. He just like gobbled that cheesecake so goddamn
I cleaned the plate.
It was good. It was good.
Oh, all right. Last one before we go to the Patreon section and YouTube member section. This one's posted by EH4Life. They go, people talk way too much. Sometimes I really get annoyed by the amount people talk. So often I overhear a conversation and think they could have covered all the useful information in a minute. They're talking 10 times more than necessary. Partly it's because they enjoy it, and partly because they feel as if they ever stopped talking and just appreciated silence, they would lose themselves somehow. Working in an office was the worst for this. Everyone was obsessed with meetings, spending 30 minutes covering a topic that could have been taken a simple email. Again, it was a way for them to feel important. I'm talking, it doesn't matter what about, and therefore I'm valuable. In my opinion, unless you're the most interesting person in the world, cured the disease, went to space, etc., you shouldn't have a lot to say. And you certainly shouldn't be talking about yourself for more than 30 minutes, max. So is this poster okay?
All right. Well, as 3 podcasts.
Yeah, I was about to say, as a goddamn podcast host, I think this person needs to shut the fuck up.
Shut the hell up and let us talk.
We want to talk about ourselves, all right? God damn it.
I honestly don't think he's okay. I think it's okay to not want to participate in like talking a lot.
Yeah, like small talk
yourself.
I get
but
how
like
people
judging
don't like small
but judging
talk.
other people for having conversations with friends or for stalling at workplace meetings, because I've definitely done that where I'm like, I don't want to go fucking do back to work. I'm gonna bring up this topic that we're going to talk about for half an hour that I don't really care about, but you know, I want to get paid and just sit here for a half hour. Yeah. So him judging people that, you know, and I get, yeah, there are definitely conversations over here that I'm like, this is the dumbest conversation I've ever heard in my life, but it's not my conversation. I don't have to care about that conversation or how long it takes them because they're enjoying themselves, presumably. and it's fun for them. You know, why yuck someone's yum? So that's
exactly
my
what
take.
I'm thinking. I think it's wild to be in a public place, listen to other people's conversations, and then just be like, "Oh
Shut
my
the
god,
fuck up.
they could have get to the goddamn point. They're not
Yeah.
talking to you, bud.
No.
You don't have to care. You're not a part of the conversation." I mean, honestly speaking, sometimes like if I'm in a scenario, I feel like sometimes I talk way more here than I do like in real life. I feel like,
Same.
not that I'm quiet in real life, but like I'm
I
not
am.
yapping like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if some people just like to fucking yap. I mean, we do it for 3 hours every week. And like, even when you're like meeting with friends, even if the story is like, I don't know, could be said in 5 minutes. Why not? Like, you know, it may sound dumb and like unimportant, but like it brings joy to, I assume, the group. If not, the group would be like, all right, get to the fucking point.
We're not hanging out with this guy anymore.
Nope.
That's like being like, oh my God, I just watched that movie. They could have fucking just killed
Summed it
Thanos
up in like
in
2
the fucking
seconds.
I'm like, well, of course, but then there would be no goddamn movie. So like, what are you saying, brother?
Yeah.
I think they're okay with the work part though. There's a lot of times
for
where I'm
sure.
just like, shut the fuck up and just send me an email.
That's fair. I do agree with that. If they're part of the meetings and like they feel like they're going on too long and they actually have work to do, I can understand that part. But they started it off with like meetings or conversations they overheard at like a coffee shop.
Yeah,
And
you're
it's
not
like,
part of that conversation, bud.
what are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Guys, I hope you enjoyed like the scary story. It's not the
They were
typical
good.
like Reddit reaction we had, but felt like it was fitting for this month. But before we close it off, Josh, Sean, anything you want to bring up to close off the show?
I got one PayPal donation from Francis, who sends $36.04.
Ooh.
They say if you convert this to PHP, it's around $2,022, which is the year I started listening to you guys. That was a really tough year for me, but I found y'all on TikTok and that helped me through a lot. I'm getting back on my feet now, so I hope this helps someone too. So, Francis, thank you very much for that. That is extremely kind, and I'm glad we could help you out in any little way.
You said PHP?
Yeah, Filipino.
Shout out to my fellow Filipino.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation. Josh, an honorary one, so we took him in.
I should, if we ever get a language learning app sponsor, I think my bit will be learning.
Yeah, me too.
Tagalog.
We could practice together, brother.
Oh my God. Sean doesn't even know how to count to 5 in Tagalog.
Yeah, that could be the bit. I get better than him at Tagalog.
No.
Ooh, it's entirely possible. You're not that far behind.
White Canadians love learning Tagalog. You'll pick it up quick.
Sean, anything you want to bring up, my guy?
Shop Reddit on Wiki. That's
Reddit
not the website.
Nope.
Reddit on wikishop.com.
There you go.
Here we go. Yeah,
Halloween
get your Halloween merch.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, that is it for this episode, Wikimaniacs. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share all our videos to your friends and family, and even creepy strangers that you find in the middle of nowhere. Make them listen to it. Us. Yeah, tell them about us. If you know a murderer, turn them in. Any call to actions before we close this off, guys?
Yeah, what's your favorite Midwest state?
Not Kansas for me. Fuck Kansas.
Illinois, because Chicago, even though that doesn't count as like what we're stereotypically talking about, it's in the Midwest.
It is technically in the Midwest. Shout out Ohio. I actually enjoyed Ohio, so shout out there.
I'm dumb, so I don't actually know what the Midwest entitles, like entails. So I have no idea.
Just say a random state, brother.
Kentucky? Would that be one?
Maybe. I don't even know where Midwest. Okay. Anywhere from here.
Kentucky's right next to Tennessee, ain't it?
Kentucky is next to Ohio.
I just like the name. Kentucky is a fun name to say.
We suck at geography. All the links in the show notes. Click it, share it. But we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Later.